Xyrus Academy was hailed as the most exalted sanctuary for privileged mages. The level between second-rate schools and Xyrus was insurmountable. Graduates were guaranteed prosperous futures, potentially serving the royal family or joining mage guilds. Xyrus students were the true elites. Now Arthur stood before its director. Normally, any 8-year-old would be ecstatic, but Arthur felt only annoyance at the unexpected guest. She was a tall lady, around 1.7 meters, holding herself in a noble manner. She wore a simple, elegant navy blue robe laced with gold, and a conjurer's hat, an oversized witch hat amplifying mana absorption. Strapped to her side was a valuable-looking crystalline white wand with a fluorescent gem. Her face had soft features, reminding Arthur more of a friendly grandmother, but her aura seemed fairy-like. Wrinkles couldn't mask her attractive face. Crow's feet amplified her smile. "Nice to finally meet you, Arthur," she said, hand held out. Arthur thought, what was I supposed to do? Shake it? Kiss it? He went the safe route and shook it. "Nice to meet you too, Director." The director seemed surprised. Arthur's mother quickly intervened. "Arthur? You're being rude. I'm so sorry, Director Goodsky. He just returned home and is ignorant about formal customs." She pushed Arthur's head down while bowing herself, getting on one knee. Apparently, that was the custom. Arthur thought, how stupid. The director laughed, covering her mouth. "Coo, no, it is quite all right. No offense taken at all. And please, Arthur, call me Cynthia." She continued, looking at his parents. "I'm sorry to intrude so late, but the only free time I had was after my meeting tonight. I hope you don't mind." Arthur's father responded, "Whoosh, no. We're thankful you'd take the time just to visit our son." Arthur thought, by the amount of complimenting, I start wondering if this granny can compare to Grandpa Virion. Director Cynthia nodded. "True, it isn't often I take a house trip for a potential student. Otherwise, even with 100 bodies, I couldn't fit the time ho-ho. However, Vincent is a good friend and reliable business partner. I couldn't refuse when he excitedly told me about a prodigy here. My curiosity got the best of me. Do you mind leading me to an open space for a demonstration?" Her gaze fixed assessingly on Arthur. Arthur started, "Can I at least eat Ouch!" His mother slapped his butt. "Of course. Please, follow us, Director Cynthia." His mother ushered Arthur, leading the way while the rest followed. Arthur thought, my dinner. Sylvie, who was hiding under the table, trotted behind Arthur, causing Director Cynthia to raise an eyebrow. "Oh my, what a lovely mana beast. I assume it is your contracted beast, right, Arthur?" Director Cynthia asked inquisitively, kneeling for a closer look at Sylvie. Arthur replied, mother's hand still gripping his shirt. "Yeah, she hatched a couple of months ago. Her name is Sylvie." Cynthia remarked, "I have to say, while nobles often buy beasts, I have never seen one like yours." Shrugging, Arthur responded, "I'm not sure what she is either. Her mother seemed like some scaled wolf creature, already gravely wounded when I found her nest protecting the egg." Sylvie scampered away from Cynthia's petting hand and climbed onto Arthur's head. "Sorry, she's a bit shy around strangers." "I see. Well, enough about her. Let us see if Vincent wasn't exaggerating. He only said you're an augmenter, calling it a surprise." She shook her head. They arrived at the backyard. Everyone sat meters away. Arthur entrusted Sylvie to his little sister, who struggled to hold the escaping dragon. Arthur started stretching. "You're not going to use your wand?" Cynthia winked. "It isn't very fair of me to use a weapon when you are empty-handed, right?" Arthur thought, I guess she's right. Arthur stomped his right foot, thrusting up a piece of ground his size. Hands lazily in pockets, he kicked the rock towards Director Cynthia. A wind wall instantly appeared, knocking the rock up. Arthur thought, whistle. Oh, instacasting. Guess she's not the director for nothing. Her face showed visible shock at the sudden elemental attack from a child augmenter. Arthur thought, I wonder who's better at controlling wind. He willed wind beneath his feet, propelling himself towards her. Dual elemental! Before she finished, Arthur jumped 3 meters high using his wind skill, focusing a condensed whirlwind into his glowing silver fist. Using the airborne earth piece as a foothold, he lunged. Whish! The collision of her wind wall and his whirlwind fist created chaotic wind streams, forcing the audience to cover their faces. The impact blew Arthur back. Cynthia also took steps to steady herself. Before Arthur balanced, 4 tree-sized twisters formed around her, heading his way. He gathered wind, forming a small cyclone spinning opposite to hers. Using the centrifugal force, he spun along, creating wind blades with his hands. The clash between the twisters and his cyclone created a small crater, but left him mostly unharmed, just dizzy. Pang. Instantly, Arthur was knocked back, ears ringing, vision unsteady. Arthur thought, a sound user. She was a deviant. He steadied himself, glancing at his opponent. She stared back, awestruck, right arm still raised from the sound attack. Arthur sat back down. Arthur thought, damn, couldn't win. That should be enough for a demonstration, right, director? He rubbed his temples. Yes, that is quite sufficient. Her voice sounded defeated, not victorious. Regaining composure, she started walking towards Arthur when his father spoke. Arthur? You know how to use earth and wind attribute skills as well. Director Cynthia's composed look turned confused. What do you mean, as well? His mother continued for the baffled father. My son, we thought he was a fire elemental. He's a deviant as well that can use lightning. Arthur heard Cynthia's breath shorten as she processed this. See, surely you'd jest. You cannot mean he controls 3 elements. Arthur interrupted. 4, actually. I can control all 4. Arthur thought, everyone was going to find out anyway. This wasn't something I could, nor wanted to hide. Earth and wind are my weakest. I'm more adept in fire and water. I also happen to be deviant in both, though I just started training them. He got up, recovered from the sound attack. Arthur thought, wasn't expecting a sound user. Didn't enhance my ears. Silence followed, only crickets chirping. Arthur thought, hope this is the last time they get surprised like this. The noble director fell to her behind inelegantly, muttering. Finally facing Arthur, she asked, Arthur, you mean to tell me you are a quadra-elemental capable of controlling 2 higher elements? Arthur thought, I'm also a dragon tamer, but that's about it. Wonder how they'd react. Correct. This is probably a big surprise because it's the first time I'm revealing this, but yeah. He scratched his head. Please, demonstrate. Director Cynthia's eyes grew menacing, the friendly grandmother replaced by a veteran killer look as she raised her hand, mana fluctuating. A vacuum of wind sucked Arthur towards her as her other hand prepared a visible wind ball. Arthur thought, this woman. Arthur willed water into his right palm and a condensed fireball into his left. Arthur thought, she wanted to see so badly. I'll show her. He combined the opposing skills, producing a massive steam cloud and shrouding them. Moments passed. Those outside heard only battle sounds until a strong wind torrent blew the cloud away. Arthur was in worse shape, but had managed to wound her slightly, drawing blood. Hugh, thoroughly convinced. You pass Arthur Lewin. She patted his shoulder, feeling more like it was sucked into her palm. The scarce wounds on both were already disappearing, leaving the audience dumbfounded. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad, for hiding this, Arthur said, worried. Fortunately, his father took it well. Bahahaha! My son is the first ever quadra-elemental. He picked Arthur up, swinging him. Arthur thought, traumatic memories. Please, Art, no more secrets. His mother wryly smiled, still concerned. Arthur thought, couldn't promise, but it was for her protection. Cynthia shook her head. But forget quadra. There aren't even tri-elementals on this continent. But you, Art... Is brother strong? His sister, clutching Sylvie, chimed in. Patting her head, the director nodded. Your brother is very strong, little one. Hee. Eleanor looked proud, as if complimented. Vincent looked disbelieving, Lilia checking him. Lilia glanced at Arthur, astonished and fearful. Arthur thought, don't blame her. Father set Arthur down. Arthur faced Director Cynthia with a stern gaze. Director Goodsky, there's actually a reason I didn't hide my capabilities today. Sensing the seriousness, she nodded. Had a hunch you weren't just brazenly showing off, Arthur. You seemed too sharp for that. Arthur agreed. Few benefits from attending your school. Learning lightning ice, I can do alone eventually. No, main reason is protection. Right now, I'm not strong enough. You hold power and influence for my family's safety until I gain strength myself. His mother started, Arthur, you're being rude. The director interrupted, Coo. No, it's fine, Alice. I completely agree with Arthur. Arthur continued, don't plan on flaunting abilities but can't hide or cower if disrespected. Striving for great power, need your protection. If you provide that, willing to attend and have you as my benefactor, he finished, taking the crying Sylvie from his sister. The director laughed heartily. Ha ha ha. Never thought in my years as director and silver stage conjurer someone would audaciously propose such a one-sided deal. Nobles beg for spots, but you speak as if it's my honor. Cuckoo. I accept. Accept 100%. Arthur scratched his cheek. Apologize for sounding conceited, but this is important. Wish to hide nothing. His parents just shook their heads defeatedly. Smiling sincerely, Arthur added, Of course, this won't officially start until I choose to enroll. Oh? Not planning on enrolling soon? The director and other adults looked puzzled. Arthur explained, Don't plan on entering until normal age. Decided to enter on my 12th birthday. Very average age. Assume that's no problem? He tilted his head. Director Goodsky pondered, Goodness, over 3 years. Arthur, any plans until then? Arthur, figuring she wouldn't accept easily, turned to his parents for permission. Looking at the sky, then his family, he answered, I'd like to become an adventurer.